Hey folks, it's Mark here from Harmonix, where we give you the knowledge to get good on guitar. Harmonix is your channel for easy to follow guitar lessons for all levels. So today's lesson is going to be aimed towards beginners, and it's going to be an introduction into how to play some kind of heavy metal style rhythms. In my experience, the majority of absolute beginners begin with chords, which kind of makes the most sense. It's the least amount of effort required to start making some noise as soon as possible. Due to this fact, your right hand starts to develop maybe a little bit ahead of your left hand because you're not playing so many notes, you're holding a chord, and more of the work is being done by the right hand. So today we're going to look at some slightly different metal rhythms that beginners can get into, where you don't have to really do anything with your left hand if you don't want to. But if you do, it's going to be a fixed position and it's all going to be about your right hand. So it should be a little bit easier for you to get into. Let's check out the rhythms we're looking at today. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the first rhythm now. As mentioned, you're not going to have to do very much with your left hand at all. So I just want you to put your first finger on fret 7 on the A string, your third finger underneath it on the D string on fret 9, and you can just play the top 3 strings, so E, A, and D, if you want to just do that. That's the E power chord in this position. Okay, so you want to avoid playing the strings below. I mean, you can do that if you want, but we're just focusing on the top. At the end, I will post these videos, and I'll probably mention them again in this video as well. But there is a very specific video, which is palm muting for beginners, which I strongly recommend that you watch after this video is over, because it will help you with the technique that I'm doing with my right hand to create what I refer to as open and closed sound envelope picks with the guitar, okay? So what I mean by that briefly is when the guitar envelope is open, we're allowing the strings to ring in out by having our hand away from the strings. When it's closed, we're only hearing the guitar as and when it's picked because our hand is muting the strings. And in that video, it will show you exactly how to do that, okay? So go and watch that video at the end. Okay, so with this one, what we're doing is we've got the position as I suggested, which was 0 on the top E, 7 on the A, and 9 on the D. And we're going to have our pinky underneath it if you want for the extra octave of the E, and that's going to be on G on 9. Okay, so the pattern here is going to be open and 2 closed, so like this. Okay, and we do that a few times, and then at the end we just allow one open play of that E chord, and that will sound like this at a slow pace. Okay, a little bit faster. And up to speed. It starts sounding like you're getting somewhere when it gets to sort of that kind of speed. Okay, so that's the first one. What we're really doing here in essence is we're playing the chord, we're allowing it to have its sound envelope open, and then we're playing 2 closeds, or 2 mutes, okay, or two palm mutes, 2 dampened chords. And then we're just allowing it to ring out. That will give that kind of rhythm. It's a very sort of 80s metal rhythm. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. But this is how you do something like that, okay? So again, the technique is in the right hand. What you're doing here is not going to change, okay? So this is a red herring, the left hand. Remember, your right hand doesn't care what your left hand is doing when you're working your right hand. Okay, so the next one is all down picks, or thrashing at the guitar kind of idea, yeah? And this is the kind of thing you would hear, you know, the metal bands of the 80s doing quite a lot, certainly some of the heavier, faster bands. And what we're doing here is we're just down picking the top E string, really. And if you're pretty good at doing it, you can actually down pick some of the lower strings below the top E string, and that will give a more fuller downstroke only dampened sound. Okay, but for beginners, you may just want to focus on the top E. And to show you how effective this can be, I'm just going to remove my left hand completely and just work on the top string. So all downs would sound like this. And it might take you some work to get up to that speed. Certainly if you want to go, you know, kind of crazy fast like some of the faster thrash bands do. What I recommend with this is you actually start, even as a beginner, working on your ability to accent with your pick. By accenting, I'm talking about doing a slightly harder pick at certain note intervals to create a rhythm within the picking structure itself. Okay, so what does that mean in English? Well, let's say for argument's sake, I did a slightly harder pick on the first of each 4 picks, like this. Okay, doesn't sound that great at that speed, but as you speed it up, you'll hear that pulse continue. So you can definitely try something like that if you wish. The next one we're going to look at is the famous gallop. Okay, so this is a kind of Iron Maiden style, or I think Heart did a song years ago called Barracuda that had like this kind of gallopy effect. Loads of bands have put this kind of gallop effect in their songs. So you might be quite interested to learn something like this. But I'm just going to hold this E chord here again that we did before. But you can just do it on the top string if you wish, just to really focus only on the right hand. And with this, all I'm doing is I'm picking down, up, down in groups of 3 like this. Okay, so that's down, up, down, like that. If I do it with the chord. Okay, again, none of these things are going to sound that exciting at that kind of speed, but as you speed it up, you'll start hearing that metal sound and that galloping tone, that sense of rhythm. It really gives the song a sense of speed. Okay, and that's just on the top string, but the chord itself would sound like this. So you can hear it really comes together once you start getting it right. But again, this can be quite taxing on your right hand, especially if you're a beginner. It can be, I think the technical word is exhausting. You really need to have some stamina to be able to do gallops at a very high speed and consistently over time. Okay, so just remember that. You may do a few quick in the beginning, but you're going to tire out. So you're going to have to build up that stamina, that fortitude to be able to keep doing it. My advice to you is just do it on the top string itself, on the low E, and just go like that. And I'm palm muting, so I'm closing the string down. The envelope of the sound is closed, okay? Something like that. As you get better and better and better at doing these things, you can start doing your own little rhythms and accenting as and when you want. So for example, you could do something like something like that, you know, just shake it up a little bit. So you've got gallops, you've got singles, you've got whatever. Okay. And then we get on to the last one, which is just an alternate picking dampening style rhythm. Let's look at that one. Just do an alternate picking, but what we can do with this one is focus our accent. If you remember, we talked before about having a slightly heavier pick to accent things, to create rhythms within the rhythm itself. So what we're doing here in essence is we're accenting the first of each. So what we're doing here, this is an extremely nuanced thing. And as you get better at picking, especially as a beginner, and you move into intermediate and then to the later end of intermediate, you'll start noticing your picking goes from being your whole wrist into a push of your thumb and a pull of your finger a lot of the time. It's a very, very subtle thing. Because if you want to play very, very quickly, you cannot move your whole wrist, all right? You need economy of movement on the guitar. You'll find the better you get, the less movement you do to do the same thing, okay? You start just being able to do things easier and more efficiently. So what you tend to find with these fast kind of picks is it's more like a push of your thumb and a pull of your first finger, and your wrist kind of moves, but you get this kind of little flick that kind of appears, like this kind of idea, like this, yeah? It's not like this, it's like this kind of thing. Okay, and what you can try is to alternate pick, so no 2 downs or 2 ups are a no-no. Must be down, up, whether you're starting with a down or an up. You never do 2 ups or 2 downs back to back. So what I urge you to try and do here is to practice focusing your accents on the downs, the ups, and the downs and the ups alternatively. So what do I mean by that? And for a beginner, this could be a bit sort of a lot to take in, but I want you to try and do it now rather than later, because it won't be so strange and alien to you later on when you try and do it. Okay, even if you suck at this right now, you will get better in time. Believe me, if you want to get better, you will. So let's say, for argument's sake, I'm doing down, up, down, up, down, up, but I want the down strokes to accent. Then what I need to do is I need to put slightly more force only on the downs, and that really requires a lot of work in your right hand to have that discipline to be able to use extra strength only on downstrokes. But it would sound like this. Like that. What you can do is, if you don't want it on that, you can alternate between a down and up. So let's say we go down, heavy, up, down, lighter, and then up, heavy, down, up, lighter. It will sound like this. Can you hear that? Can you hear it going bum 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 like that? It actually takes a little bit of work, but it's actually pretty cool, because eventually you'll learn how to put the accents on whatever you want. Okay, and that will help your strumming as well, by the way, because the art of strumming is really putting different accents in at different points. Okay, so. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. You can get to grips with these rhythms as soon as possible and start incorporating them into your playing. As mentioned during the lesson itself, I did say that there are some videos that I strongly recommend that you watch. I'm going to post them at the end of this video, but they will help supplement this lesson greatly, and this lesson will help with the others too. So you want to try and watch them in a kind of group of videos, okay? And I'll link them at the end. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this and get to grips with it quickly. I'm going to leave those videos as mentioned here for you to check out. You must check these out if you're following this video through. It will help you. As always, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Good luck with these, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.